So hello everyone and welcome back to yet another interesting video. Now recently I had a chance to visit one of the world's largest electrical show, and I have some of the updates to share with all of you from that largest electrical show. So we'll talk about what's new in the system, what's new in the switchgear, what's new in the substation, and I'll try to summarize my visit into this video. So certainly it's an interesting one, so make sure you watch it till the end. So first we'll start by understanding what is this Elecrama, what is this show about. We'll talk about that. So if you know about Elecrama, you can simply skip that part. Then we'll talk about what's new in the substation, what was showcased. Then we'll talk about the switchgear, what's there in the high voltage switchgear, what's there in the medium voltage switchgear. We'll talk about that. Then what's in the transformer, what was showcased about the transformer, we'll discuss on that. And one of the interesting topic, that is battery energy storage system. Now this is something that is gaining the market because of the renewables energy coming into picture. So we'll talk about that. And then in the end, we'll talk about some of the interesting findings that I have, my personal interesting finding from the exhibition. So that's the table of content. So let us start by understanding about Elecrama. So this is Elecrama. This is one of the world's largest electrical show. And this Elecrama is one of the flagship showcase of the Indian electrical industry ecosystem. So you will find every industry in this exhibition, right from the generation to the distribution socket that we use in our home. Everything was showcased in this flagship show. This was the 16th edition of this show. There were multiple shows that happened previously. It started way back in 1990s. So it's a very old and very prestigious exhibition for the electrical industry. This is the largest standalone show in electrical equipment industry in the whole world. This year, there were more than 1,000 exhibitors showcasing their cutting edge technology, what's new they have, and what's going on in the market. So more than 1,000. So you can imagine how big it was. And believe me, even 2-3 days is not sufficient to visit every single stall from the exhibition. There were almost 4 lakh people visited this complete show. And this huge show is organized by IEMA. Now, IEMA is Indian Electrical and Electronic Manufacturers Association. Again, it's one of the oldest and prestigious association in India. It was again formed in 1990s and it's still running very well. IEMA is kind of a mediator between the different manufacturer and the government bodies. So they play an advocacy role between the manufacturer and the government bodies. It's a very huge show and the experience is very, very good. I mean, you will get to learn a lot of things from this show. Plus, this is one of the largest platform where a manufacturer can find out new vendors, because there are so many people, so many companies available that if I am producing something, I'm manufacturing something, I can find 10 different vendors for my production. So that is also one of the biggest agenda for having this show, and it happens every 2 years. This was the 16th edition. And as I said, all the industries, you take the name of the electrical industry and it was present, right from the generation to the socket that we have in our home. So generation, transmission, distribution, renewables, vehicles now, electromobility, automation, green hydrogen also, and the power electronic industries were present in the exhibition. And for this edition, there were 4 key areas. Sustainability, which is one of the most important topic right now in the world. Sustainability. Innovation, of course, then the quality, reliability and safety, which is must to have for any kind of product. And then we also had automation. So these are the main 4 areas, the focus areas of the complete exhibition. Now let's go and see what was showcased about the substation. So in the substation world, digital substations were showcased. Now don't misunderstand this. Digital substation doesn't mean that we are removing all the electrical apparatus and replacing it with the digital assets. No. So what is a digital substation? It's basically a modern substation which uses the digital technology to monitor, control, and manage the electrical assets. So monitoring is one of the crucial function that is done by this digital substation. Now, to monitor a substation, especially if it's a high voltage outdoor substation, you have to have manpower. So it's a labor intensive task. You have to go to the field, maybe take out the temperature reading, note it down, and then report it back. But with the digital technology advancement, we have now sensors. Those sensors can monitor the temperature 24/7 and send the data right in your phone. So that is what we are talking about. That is the digitalization of the substation. And that was showcased. So the softwares that are needed for this, the digital assets that were needed for this were showcased in the exhibition. And this is also an important thing because, as I mentioned, monitoring previously was a labor intensive task. But with this digital era, we can eliminate that completely, and things can move faster, way faster than we can imagine. So that advancement are coming up with this digital technology. Is it something new? Well, no, it's not new. It's been in the market for a significant amount of years now. But in the today's era, the digital era, the artificial intelligence era, this things is gaining momentum now. So the question is, are we going to have digital substations? What do you think? Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section. And digital substation doesn't only mean that we monitor, control, and manage the electrical assets. But if I am the, let's say, transmission utility, and I have multiple substations throughout the state or throughout the country, those substation I can have a connected substation via this digital assets, and I can monitor that all together on a single device. So that will give me better control over my substations, better reliability of power, and so many advantages this digital substation offers, no doubt on that. But with this, the question of cybersecurity also comes into picture. So in case of some cyber attack, what's going to happen? So there are things that needs to be explored, or there are some restrictions on that. So that is on the substation. And also there were significant what I can say is development happened on the fault detection systems. So there were underground fault detection system. So Megger, which is one of the known companies, they showcased a van, underground locating a fault location van, which is capable of locating fault that is happening under the ground, which is nothing less than a miracle, because you don't have to dig anything, nothing to do, you will identify the fault. So that things were showcased. Also, the advanced metering solutions were showcased. So we talk about the smart grids, right? So for that you need to have smart meters. So that solutions were also showcased in the exhibition. So that's on the substation part, which takes us to the next thing that we have, which is updates on the switchgear. Now the switchgear part, I have again divided into two different parts. Firstly, we'll talk about the high voltage switchgear, and then we'll talk about the medium voltage switchgear. Now you remember, and one of the focus area for this year was sustainability. And when we talk about sustainability, we can't talk about the SF6 gas. Sustainability and SF6 gas, you can say they are opposite words, because SF6 is one of the most potent greenhouse gas. And if it goes into the environment, it stays there for a very long time, which we cannot afford to have now, because the global warming issues, the environmental issues are on its peak, and we don't have planet B. So this time the switchgear was on that front, sustainability front, not using SF6 gas front. So in high voltage switchgear, all the key manufacturers showcase their cutting edge SF6 free solutions. You can see in the picture, these are the pictures that I clicked during the exhibition. You can see one manufacturer showcased 420 kilovolts gas insulated SF6 free GIS. On the right hand side, you can see 245 kV SF6 free gas insulated switchgear. Again, is it new? Well, the answer is no. SF6 free switchgear were showcased in the previous Elecrama as well. But definitely what we see this time is the voltage levels are going up. In the previous show, the switchgears were limited up to 145 kV or maybe 245 kilovolts. but now they are scaling up to 420 kilovolts. They are available in the market. You can go and procure them now with all the type testing. So that solution is available. We are not using any sort of SF6 gas into this. They uses for switching. They uses vacuum bottles, which is one of the proven technology in medium voltage. Now it is scaling up to the high voltage as well. And then for insulation purpose, few manufacturers are using clean air technology, which is the combination of the atmospheric air and the oxygen and nitrogen combination of these two. And then few manufacturers are using some different combinations of the different gases. So again, is it something new? No, it's not new. It's in the development for past 5-10 years. But now finally we have the final product to see. So that is what you can see. The another thing in the high voltage switchgear that we noticed during the show was the digitalized switchgear monitoring. The switchgears are getting digital again. So we talked about the substation monitoring. Now we also have the switchgear monitoring. So basically substation monitoring also covers the switchgear monitoring. But if you want to procure it as a separate thing, then you can also get that with switchgear. So this switchgear, with the help of different sensors, IoT devices, they can track and monitor a lot of things. Like you can see the switching positions, the gas density monitoring if they are the SF6 switchgears, the F-gas inventory report, AI based low gas alarm prediction. So if the gas is leaking, the artificial intelligence can tell you that, okay, maybe in next 3 days, you're going to have an alarm, a low pressure gas alarm. So that thing is there. Of course, the temperature monitoring and the mechanical life cycle trend. And also the artificial intelligence is also entering into this now. So with the help of AI, we can predict, analyze the data in a better way. So that trend is also very much visible in the switchgear now. And the same thing also repeats for the medium voltage switchgear. So most of the key manufacturers showcased their sustainable SF6 free ring main units. You can see the different manufacturers. I could visit and I could click the pictures of them. So all of them showcased, SF6 free ring main unit, 12 kV ring main units mostly are now ready to be dispatched to different customer. Again, the technology that is used is vacuum bottles for current interruption and maybe clean air for the insulation purpose. Now, vacuum is certainly a very important component. It's very widely used in medium voltage and now it's being scaled up to the high voltage level as well. We talked about vacuum interrupters, vacuum circuit breaker, the future of that with one of the industry experts in our The Electrical Guy Power Panel playlist. If you haven't seen that, I will strongly recommend if you should watch that if you are interested in knowing about the vacuum technology. I'll put a link for it down in the description. You can go and check it out. Which takes us to our next topic, that is the transformers. Now, transformer also, I noticed a lot of monitoring solutions. So in transformer is one of the critical topic in critical asset in the substation. Is one of the most expensive equipment in the substation and it must be protected, it must be monitored. So there are a lot of solutions available to that. And again, is it something new? No, it's been available for a lot of years now, but again it's gaining momentum now. There are solutions available. So if you have already existing transformer mounted but you don't have this monitoring system, there are companies who can do retrofits for you. So they will install sensors and then give you the software to monitor and track the different parameters of transformer. So that solution is also there. You can see on the right hand side of the screen where this solution can track and monitor the current that is flowing in each of the bushing, the voltage rating of each of the phases, the temperature of the windings, and a lot of other things. So that monitoring solutions are available. And with this data, along with the artificial intelligence, you can predict the mechanical life cycle trend. You can predict if there is faults are going to happen in the transformer or not. So that's on the transformer front, what I noticed in the exhibition, which takes us to the next portion and one of the interesting part, that is the battery energy storage system. It's certainly now gaining momentum because most of the countries have declared their targets for the renewable energy generation, including India. So everybody wants to utilize the renewable sources more and more. And this asks for the storage of the energy, because renewable energy is not something that is available when we need them. So definitely we need to store some sort of energy so that we can use it when we need it. And this battery energy storage system is solutions to that. So this is one of the solution. You can see 125 kilowatt solution battery storage system was showcased. So it has an inbuilt inverters, alarm systems and all. Now I've seen the solutions up to 5 megawatt hour. So it's a 20 feet container containing only batteries, and that you can use to store the energy when you have excess of energy, and then transmit back to the grid when it is needed. So that solutions are available. And when we use battery, a lot of battery, the problem of thermals come into picture. The temperature goes high and high, and this solution needs to have a very good ventilation system. So liquid force cooling is very popularly being used in all these solutions. And not necessary it is used for only big wind power plants or solar power plants. This can also be used for smaller solar plants in a building or a common area. So you can save the electricity during daytime, and when during night time when the peak charges are applied. So when the electricity demand is high, the utility charges more. So during that peak hours, we can use the stored energy and save the money there. So there are different use cases to that. It's certainly a topic of interest for me, at least. And if you want me to make a video on this, please comment BESS. If I get enough comments, then definitely I'll be making a video on this. So that's about the battery energy storage system. Of course, there were, all the key manufacturers also showcased the EV chargers now, because e-vehicle market is booming. And of course, there are charging solutions needed. So that were also showcased during this exhibition. So which takes us to the last part of the video, which is the interesting finding, my own interesting finding from the exhibition. So first thing that I saw was a double brake circuit breaker. Now this is a 36 kilovolt circuit breaker. In single phase, there are two different brakes are used. So you can say two different interrupters are used, vacuum interrupters. Now why this? Where is the application of this? Now, this is used where we want to switch the back-to-back capacitor banks. That's a special application, because in the capacitive circuit, if you have, remember the AC circuits. In capacitive circuit, the voltage and current are out of phase by 90 degrees. And switching that sort of current is one of the critical activities that circuit breaker needs to handle. And when we have to switch back-to-back capacitor banks, it's a critical task, and a regular breaker is maybe not sufficient to break that. And this is the breaker which is used for that particular application, where it's a double brake thing. You can see here, this is one brake, this is the second brake. It's connected in series with each other. This is where I'll connect the incoming line. This is my outgoing line, let's say. And this portion, the outer portion, what you see is a current transformer. So it also has an inbuilt current transformer. The second thing that I noticed is the line vibration monitoring. Now we have huge transmission lines running over a huge distance. And if they vibrate, it can cause problem. There can be a sagging that is happening, and it may be, it may break down. It can also damage the tower. So to avoid that, this is the solution. This is a vibration monitoring system, and it operates on the solar energy. You can see the solar plate also installed there. So it monitors the vibration basically, and wirelessly it sends the signal. So you can track the different vibrations that is coming into the transmission line, and this may help you to save the potential damage that can occur because of the vibrations. So those are few things that I noticed. Now there are huge products that showcased, and it's not possible to capture everything and give the summary of that, but I tried my best to summarize most of the important things that I noticed from the point of view of substation, from the point of view of switchgear. Now, if you wish to download the PDF of the presentation that I showed in this video, you can download that for free. I'll put a link for the download option down in the description. If you like this video, if you like the summary of the overall exhibition, then please like the video and do share it with the people you think might be interested in learning. If you are someone who wants to learn about switchgear, then I have a dedicated playlist where I talk about the basics of switchgear. I'll give a link for it down in the description. Definitely go and check it out. So that's all for this video, guys. I'll see you in my next one. But till then, keep watching, keep learning.